Hello, today I want to show you some highly specialized knives, but first of all I want to show you the opposite, namely something like this, which would be a general purpose everyday carry knife like the Benjamin Spezialized. But let's start with my special purpose knives. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Survival knife. So there's no strict definition, but my understanding is that it has to have a certain blade length to be able to fulfill different tasks and to be useful in different grip positions like choking back, normal position, choking up, reverse. And the blade is important. It should be a full tang blade, thick, and made out of a robust steel, so high carbon or tool steel, like this GSO 5.1, which is made out of CPM 3V. Let's move on. Bushcraft knives often come with a fire steel, but the specific of bushcraft knife for me is that it has to have a very comfortable grip, so that it can be used in different positions over a longer period of time without fatiguing the hand. And most common is Scandi grind, so that it can bite really deep into the wood. Okay, similar to this, there are carving knives. I have one example, a spoon carving knife here. Often they have very special forms for their specific cutting or carving movement. So this one is for spoon carving. Just an example, there are more. Okay. Let's move on. Then hunting knives. I'm not a hunter, but yeah, the closest thing that I have is here the Fox Njal by Jesper Voxnes. So my understanding is, correct me if I'm wrong, it would be nice to have good point. Clip point wood is decent for piercing, and a really rounded belly for skinning. Right, and then an outdoor kitchen knife comes in handy more often than you think. Just last weekend I processed an entire lamb with this knife, the Burger Field Butcher. It's a combination of a Santoku and a chef's knife, a lot of belly, very good slicer, but in contrast to ordinary kitchen knives, it's quite robust and full tang, so it's good for outdoor use as well. And here we have a mushroom knife. Unfortunately, the mushroom season here is already over. And what's up with the focus? Yeah. So this is a simple opener based on the Model 8, but repurposed for mushrooms, so it's good to cut a boletus or something and then to clean it with the brush. A Viper has a really nice version of a mushroom knife, but the simple opener works just as fine. And here, yeah, I discovered this by accident, but I had to buy it. It was really cheap. A foldable bread knife. It even has a locking mechanism. It can be opened with one hand, so technically it's illegal in many places, which is ridiculous because just a bread knife made out of 440A steel, so not a really high quality steel, but it doesn't have to be, because it's only meant to cut bread, made by Herbert's in Germany. Really nice. And this one was a really big revelation to me, because I go fishing, and for processing fish I use the ordinary Mora companion, and yet even though it kind of works, but I didn't even know that this one exists. This is the Mora comfort scaler, which is specifically made for fish processing. So you can use the back, the spine here, to remove the scales of the fish, and then the blade to process the rest of the fish. Before that I used the companion, and I used the blade for both removal of the scales and processing, and it was made out of Sandvik steel, which doesn't have the highest edge retention in the world to begin with, so that's why this is a lot better. So the blade is made in a specific form, and the handles, which are basically the same as the companion, are really good because the rubberized grip is very comfortable and grippy. Even when it's wet and nasty, full of fish guts, it still works. And it comes with a nice sheath. And last but not least, I'm not a huge fan of tactical knives, but here I have one example. It's still under construction, but just for this video I reassembled it. Oops. Yeah, the ZT-0560, you can see the blade is still a bit messed up. It's still, yeah, I actually don't like that it's a tactical knife, because the blade is only useful for tactical use, and I'm trying to reprofile it to make it more useful for EDC tasks. So tactical knife, yeah, first of all it should be quickly accessible. So often it's a flipper knife, flipping action, and here the flipper tab has a double function. Yeah, you can see it's still not really smooth, I have to adjust it, but the flipping tab becomes a finger guard, so when you stab, that your finger doesn't slide off. And obviously the blade and the tip has to be sharp. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.